Let the screaming begin. It's season 1, episode 5. Guess who's coming to dinner? And it's the Real Housewives of Dallas. And it's the AfterBuzz After Show right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, AfterBuzzers. You're in the right place if you're here to talk about Dallas Housewives because we are ready to go. The full panel is here. Let's get started. I'm your host, Grant Rutter. You can find me on Twitter at Grants__rants.
And I'm Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
What's up, everyone? I'm Thomas Orlina, and you can find me at Thomas Orlina on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook.
This is DJ Richie Skye, and I'm currently jamming to Rihanna. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DJ Richie Skye.
And we're all back. A full panel is reunited here to talk about these ladies. Let's get started on what could be the best comedy on Bravo, The Real Housewives of Dallas. I think they were probably hoping that would be like Odd Mom Out, but no, it's these ladies. Although tonight's episode was a little bit emotional, a little kind of both sides, depending if you're a fan or not.
This week gave me more than I got out of it last week.
Yeah.
I felt like
it felt like a housewife episode today with the interaction, the fighting.
it did.
Yeah,
With the fighting.
Yeah, we needed that.
We waited for the fighting this season.
We waited for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought last week was a little bit more Housewives for me, but I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I also I was thinking about this over the weekend. I kind of feel like it's a little sad that all these Bravo shows now are just fighting. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
Like even with like Southern Charm, it's all based around the fights and this and every other Housewives. So it's kind of like it's like not so much about the lifestyles. It's like the fight of the week now.
Tonight felt really real, though. The fight was, I mean, you felt like the realness of it. You know, other ones kind of seem a little set
agree.
up. She was really upset.
And we've even said, too, like, we're waiting for the real drama to happen. Because it's been, like, fluff up until tonight.
Yeah.
So with the exception of this show, it really hasn't been, like, fight-propelled yet. You know, tonight, yeah.
I mean, but it's still been focused around like petty arguments, you know? A little too much for me.
I do, well, while this was not one of my favorite episodes, I also felt like it was kind of snooze fest. But I will say, though, that it did feel more like a Housewives show because we got to see more of the fighting and making up. You know, there's always the who's going to make the phone call and then the infamous sit down to see how they, you know, reconcile. You know what I mean? So that happened, and then there was some, you know, family drama, and then there's the husband who's the douchebag. So
Yeah, the classic husband.
It was hard to watch.
Always got to be one.
Well, at the beginning of this episode, LeeAnne is super angry, and she voices that she has two choices. She can either start crying or kill a bitch. And I'm like, wow, really?
listen, LeeAnne gives me life every episode. She does. Like, I am here for LeeAnne all day. She's the
This
classic
show
housewife.
would be nothing without her. What would they do?
Yeah.
What would they talk about?
Nothing.
She's adding all the spice, for sure.
She's definitely adding the spice.
Yeah.
Earning her paycheck and doing all the work doing it. All the
It's
work.
because
Well, I
nobody
don't know.
gets her.
Tiffany stepped up to the plate tonight.
She did. We're the opponent,
did.
yes. She says that LeeAnne says, I'm done, and God, all this stuff comes out in this argument, which was really real, Blake. You're right. Like, it really was real and built on, like, a long-term relationship. And it seems like these fights have kind of boiled up to the surface before, so they kind of know how to play one another. You know, they know the chords to hit. So she feels that Tiffany coordinated the whole like, debacle of pulling her over and getting her in the middle of that fight with Brandi. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, we know that she didn't coordinate.
No.
I think she set it up. I mean,
You do.
There's always the well-meaning housewife who sets up a meeting in front of the large crowd of people.
Yeah.
Yes, that's gonna go well. You know what I mean?
true,
It's kind of like
Really mean well.
exactly. Well, I just wanted to squash it all while everybody's having drinks and standing around. No, you don't do that.
But at this moment, she felt that Tiffany was doing it like, you know, throwing her into the fire, like, you know, being mean.
Well, you know, I read Tiffany's blog, and she was indicating that she thought that since Brandi was in a good mood, that it could go well. Not so much.
Yeah. No.
I think Tiffany's trying really hard to please everybody and kind of stay away from LeeAnne. So I feel like some of the anger in the fight was more her just getting aggression. Like, she can't, you know, she has to be loyal to her, but she also has to be cool with the cast.
Yeah.
And if you just stay cool with LeeAnne, it's really hard to, you know, be part of the cast. You
Yeah,
kind of
I agree.
alienate
I felt
yourself.
like that frustration came from that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Built up.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that in regards to the fight that broke out, I don't think Tiffany was trying to set it up, but I do think she was trying to play middleman, and I think she was sort of trying to bring LeeAnne into it to be like, let's smooth it over. Let's, whatever.
But
and
it's always that person.
True. There is always
That's
that person.
the messenger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the most shocking thing out of it, though, is that this whole season we've seen LeeAnne be so mis-etiquette, mis-manners, and there's protocol to everything.
She lost it.
She completely lost it. Completely lost it. So she's just all season long been harping on the poop hat, like we can't hear the end of that.
Yeah.
But here this was a way worse display than a
totally
poop hat.
loved every minute. I did.
Richie was
Not
loving
that
that.
Not that we didn't
It
love
was
it.
better than a
It
table
was just
flip.
surprising
It
from
was
her.
surprising.
I thought.
I do agree with you.
It was better
though.
than a table flip.
I agree with you. She's like warning everybody every week about their behavior, and then she throws someone into a trolley. I mean, it's like, it is a little
Exactly.
like,
I thought the heels
with
were gonna
you.
go flying too, but I was like, those
She like almost
Louboutins.
fell.
That poor cameraman. I was like, oh my god.
They don't pay them enough to do that. Tiffany tells her that she has her back. There's a bunch of screaming in her face, and Tiffany just wants credit for trying to be a good friend. So I can totally understand where Tiffany's coming from with being
Yeah.
upset, because there's nothing worse than being misunderstood. When tensions are high and you want to like get someone like get them to the black and white point of what the issue is,
Right.
and they're just not hearing you. Yeah.
And Tiffany really has done a lot to stand up for LeeAnne, truly.
She
like,
has.
we've seen her in comments, like, really be
Yeah.
neutral to the other girls and, like, just praise her friendship with LeeAnne. So I know that LeeAnne is threatened by the other ladies, but I feel like their friendship is so long-standing that it
Yeah.
was sort of uncalled for her to react that way.
I think it was uncalled for, but
Yeah.
I think I can understand how she felt in the moment, because here you are gossiping with your friends, just enjoying some champagne, and then Tiffany comes and brings you over into like the den
Getting ganged
of
up on.
wolves.
Yeah.
And then Brandi does like essentially unleash on her, and Tiffany's just kind of standing there like, oh,
Yeah.
hi.
I
is
feel
true.
like
She
LeeAnne
was.
is just, she's not being read right by all these women. She's being completely misunderstood, and I feel like she's fighting herself because no one's connecting with her, no one's understanding. She means well. She's spending all this time and effort. She's raising millions of dollars, and still nobody is like on her side.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting point, because she has said this numerous times. Oh, the way I grew up, and I'm a Carney kid, and abandonment, and all of these things. But I don't think people, like, she leads with that, and people wouldn't judge her for that if that wasn't what she was sensitive about, you know.
True.
And so it's like these women, they don't dislike her for her childhood. They dislike that she's mean sometimes, you know, and
It's not coming
whatever.
across right.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
right, yeah. I mean, we can agree that she's not asserting herself the best way, but it's entertaining.
It is
sure
very
is.
entertaining.
So I'll take it. So LeeAnne's looking for an Uber. I love
Goodness.
that.
Poor LeeAnne.
I know.
Had to take off the shoes,
We're not in
walk down
Beverly Hills.
the
Also,
street.
thinking
We're
is,
not in
where's she
Beverly
gonna
Hills.
go?
Where's she? And there's like the dumpster over here.
She should
I'm
have
like,
called
oh.
it right beforehand. Come on,
I know.
LeeAnne. Call the Uber first.
I know.
LeeAnne.
No,
then
I would
have
have
it
just
written.
walked out of the scene. I would have kept walking. I wouldn't have looked for anything because it just made her look. You know how you try to make a dramatic exit and then
Yeah.
like you like bump into the door or something.
Yeah.
That's what
was
that
it.
kind of looked like.
Yeah, taking
She's
the
being
shoes off
cornered
in the
by every
street.
wall.
Yeah,
Right.
the car goes by. Like, you can tell they added in like the horn beeping. Like, it was totally like an add-in. Like, yes.
I had the same thought.
Yeah.
So funny.
That car didn't honk and shoot.
Yeah. Well, back inside at this Marie's party, you can't forget Marie, still scared of everything going on around her.
Oh my gosh.
Stephanie's in there, and she feels that she's just totally embarrassed her charity. They're still worried about these charities.
Poor like
know.
Stephanie.
I don't even know
Tired of
Stephanie's
charities.
charity. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either.
So, girl, you don't need to worry about it because
No.
we don't know.
There's no record. There's no record. You're good.
You are so good, girl.
I can't.
Oh, man. So Tiffany says that in an interview, she says LeeAnne is the reason why I came back to Dallas. But that can't be true. That's ridiculous. They had that whole thing with her and her husband, and she wanted to come back.
So does
and-
she not have family?
That's
or
a good
anything?
question.
Because touched on that.
Yeah.
Anyone?
And I thought she was from Dallas, like had her family
That's what
in
I
Dallas.
thought.
Yeah.
She came for LeeAnne Locken.
Right, not her family. Forget
I
the
don't believe
family.
anyone's leaving LA to move home for an old friend. Sorry. But who knows?
I'm gonna go with she has family.
Yes.
Maybe we just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
LeeAnne was the
we have a
main
few more
reason,
episodes
but
to go. Hopefully
yeah.
we'll see them.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
That was a weird
I'm gonna
statement.
think that.
Well,
Yeah.
Kari tries.
For LeeAnne. Yeah.
Kari tries to insert herself in all of this and throws a little shade that her 2-year-old throws things like LeeAnne did. And I'm still wondering, Kari, what are you doing on this show?
Now that was the
We
ultimate.
need you, Kari.
I'm not. a
I
fan of
like
any of
her.
I'm not.
I do too.
I
I
think
like
she's
her.
a beautiful girl, and I admire her marriage and all that. But I just don't see her doing anything for me on the
She
show.
gives me the Heather Dubrow. Like while
She
we're
does.
off Orange County, she gives me that.
I feel you.
That
I agree with
fill-in.
that. I like her. I think she's
Filler.
witty and spicy, and even though she may not be causing the situations, I think she is good, like counterplay.
She has room to grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's definitely gonna grow.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You
I
and
just
Grant.
I have nothing to go off of. She doesn't give
I
us
like
anything.
her.
There's no
I
need.
like anybody that can give themselves Botox.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty
How
nifty.
I was
crazy was that?
cringing.
Oh my god! I love
I
how
can't.
the husband's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Just putting on some makeup."
Actually, I would prefer her
weird.
husband to be the housewife instead, because I think he'd add a little bit
He
more spice.
he is
Yes.
very entertaining.
That Roberta
love it.
Cavalli dress.
I'm wondering if he loves the dress or as much as he loves her. Like, you know what I mean? What is it? Like, what is it?
I think it's a combo.
He's looking at
It
like
is the
the
combo.
dress.
I
He's
think-
not looking at her.
She is his real life Barbie.
Yeah.
And I think he's very happy with that. And
Yes,
that works for her.
They seem happy.
works for them both.
Yeah.
It seems like one of the more stable relationships
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I like them together. I like
seem
her.
very
I
happy
like them.
together.
I love that he would go out of his way, like on his own time, to just like go shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Not just any shopping.
That's
Roberta
special.
Cavalli dress.
I know,
Yeah.
like, and he
So.
knows. He knows his shit.
Yeah, he does, yes. So the next day, after all this fight in the street and all this craziness, everyone's still processing what happened. Stephanie's getting ready for her anniversary. She seems like the only one excited for this. Let's talk a little bit about the husband.
Okay, so I want to go back and sort of retract something that I said earlier, I
Yes.
think, in the season, because I don't necessarily know that her marriage will be the one that we need to be worried about
Oh, I
as
know
much
what
as
you're gonna
someone
say.
else's.
Yes.
Because I do think that he may come across a little gruff, but it does seem like they have a very kind of happy and fun kind of life. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
As
kudos to
evidenced
her.
by this episode. I feel like
Yes.
we've all been like, ooh, Travis. Because of the way they're portraying him.
And then you saw the $75,000 bracelet.
I
and you're
did,
like,
and
ooh,
I
Travis.
just, everything
And the
changed.
Rolls Royce.
And everything changed.
I was like,
I was like,
I
oh
get it
yeah,
now.
Yes.
okay.
He's looking better.
I'll do some chores too, actually.
Yeah.
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 Wait, where my list at?
Yeah. You and me, Thomas. I was like
Where's the
really down.
list? Give
I
me
was
the
really
list.
down on the chores at the beginning. Is looking a little better.
Yeah.
A little better.
I'm not that impressed by him at all.
She lives a good life, though. A
She
very
does.
good life. And
Yeah,
he
she
On the golf
seems
course.
happy. She
Yeah.
legitimately seems happy.
And the Rolls
you know?
Royce was very
Rolls.
thoughtful. I mean,
Yeah, he went and bought it.
This
after
showed
the
his
marriage.
sweet side, this episode.
Yeah.
And I like
It
that.
did.
we're liking
Well,
Travis.
Stephanie was like a nervous wreck that LeeAnne was going to try to take down her family and him and his business. And Travis is like, well, I wouldn't be bothered with her. I wouldn't
Yeah.
worry about it. So then she was happy after that.
I know.
Right.
I love Stephanie. I just want her to get a backbone.
Yeah.
She's just like so kind and sweet and just like, I just feel like she's so precious. You know?
I really like her a lot. Actually.
Yeah, and I totally love her too. She seems really sweet, but yeah, just like very sheltered.
I don't think we've ever seen a housewife just go down like that in just
No.
a scene like that ever
Yeah.
in history.
And she
can't
was
recall.
she was trying so hard to stand up for Brandi, and then LeeAnne was like, "And your charity," and she was like, "Not the charity."
Her face, she's like, no, you didn't go there.
Poor
Don't come
Stephanie.
back.
Felt so bad.
I know.
Well, LeeAnne felt bad because she's talking all about her huge insecurities and how she never felt solid and safe growing up, and all this reflects her abandonment issues that were put on display the night before. And a funny moment that I liked was when she said she was telling her husband, her fiance, no, her boyfriend, Rich, who's saying, "I didn't say 2 words," and he says, "I bet you did."
He knows her so well.
Like really quick, he said that too.
I know
Bet
you.
you did.
Yeah. Our number.
Yeah, so she's like a nervous wreck.
Yeah,
'cause she
which
doesn't wanna
makes
be left
sense.
alone.
I feel like that explains a lot. You know, the way she felt during her childhood, she's sort of acting out on it now in her adult life with these women. And
Sadly.
with her best friend,
Yeah.
Tiffany.
Are we gonna see these women all come together and be like all about LeeAnne at some point? Are we seeing this in the reunion? I mean,
No.
or is she always going to be
think so.
like separated?
I think she's always going to be separated, and then next season they'll bring in another friend for her.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Marie's on.
I don't know about that.
Should be a good one. Wow.
I don't know, but yeah. No, I think Brandi will always be off her, and Kari will never give her the time of day. Kari just seems so above it with her. She doesn't even give her the energy.
Yeah.
There's really no interaction at all. Those two are like on two different planets.
True. That is true. Yeah.
That's what I get anyway. That's the vibe that I get.
Yeah.
So Brandi's grandfather is coming over for the first time, and she says this is the first time they're all going to be under the same roof, except no husband Brian. He's traveling, so he's been doing a lot of traveling since the show started.
Okay, we need to talk about this for a
Yes,
second.
Blake had a point.
Well, so I think the grandfather asked, well, what does Brian do? And Brandi said he's in real estate. What type of real estate causes you to travel?
I wanted the same
All
thing.
the time.
I was like, real estate. Well, shouldn't he be there?
Yeah, isn't real estate like regional? I mean, unless you're is there like international real estate or something?
Or
I mean,
maybe
I don't
it's
know.
commercial and it sends him to different. I'm making it up. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I don't know either. Real estate.
seemed a
I've never
little
heard of a
off.
real
Can someone
estate.
tell us?
Yeah,
It's
like
a typical
Unless he's
house.
looking at other real estate to purchase or work on, possibly. That would be my only guess.
Yeah, I guess.
maybe
He's a typical-
I
commercial
question that
properties
as
to
well.
work on.
See,
Maybe
that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's that, but
it
she didn't
has
go
to be
into a good
commercial.
explanation. Girl, Brandi, just tweet us and tell us.
Please, we want to know.
He's a true
We need
Real
to know.
House husband. They all have these ambiguous jobs. They're
Yeah.
an entrepreneur. They're
And
in
I'm thinking to
real
myself,
estate. They're a
well, how did you
businessman.
get so successful with that? Tell me.
Real
Write a book on
Yeah.
that.
It's all like
There's more to
open-ended.
it.
Yeah.
It's
There's
all
more to
open-ended.
it.
Yeah, we really don't know. And perhaps we never will. I don't know. Oddly enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a charity event we're attending, and it's a clothing drive in a parking lot. This was really rough. I'm doing all these clothes. They were literally coming in trash bags.
Being dumped
And
on the floor.
I didn't understand it. Like, so were they gathering the pieces and they were gonna deliver them somewhere else, or was someone gonna come there?
We needed like racks.
with the women. That's
Yes.
We needed racks.
At least go to like a boutique.
I
and,
wanted
like,
to
host
see
it
a
at
Beverly
place.
Hills clothing drive. You know,
Yeah.
You would have seen a tent. You would have had like a
boutique,
champagne.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
cover.
Host it at a
Something.
venue. Have like a little open bar. Like,
Yeah.
just to get people in
At
the
least some
door.
champagne.
Yeah. Nobody
This
was
is
saying
hard.
No, I was very surprised by this
Especially
was a
whole.
parking
like
lot.
my favorite housewife of all time, Camille Grammer, had that wonderful jewelry party at her Malibu
Exactly.
mansion.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I expect. That's
Nope.
what I'm looking for.
Nope.
But I mean, there's like a tarp laid down in the parking lot, and there's like they had to point out there was a Michael Kors top. I think it was probably the only one, but they laid them out.
They did.
I'm like, okay.
And the cause sounds so amazing. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like it should
Yeah,
just
it
really have been a little more of a to-do.
I agree. It should be
agree.
respected. It was
Yeah.
for HIV positive women.
That was a Saturday morning car wash. That's what that was.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh.
But what can we say? Oh God, I don't know what else to say. Yeah, that was the car wash event. I mean, that car wash event.
The charity event, yeah.
Yeah.
I can only hope that maybe this was the first step of like gathering the goods for the real event.
No,
I don't know.
I think that was it.
For the women of the charity to come and like
And there's no one
peruse
there.
and
It's
It's an
gather
example
their
of your
thing.
charity world going down the toilet.
There you
That's
go.
what that is.
Richie just defined it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nobody there. I mean, if you want to go, you have to like sign like a release form to go. Like people aren't gonna want to do that, especially in the hot sun. Like it's just not a good
I
idea.
felt so bad. I mean, LeeAnne had nowhere to hide when she was trying to avoid Tiffany because there's nobody there.
No.
That is stressful.
Or the other woman who was talking to her and said something about Stephanie. She's like,
I know.
Stephanie came by.
She
for a tour."
welcomes Tiffany to the event.
Completely. And I loved LeeAnne's response as soon as she heard about Stephanie. She was like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Tiffany is really hurt at this point. She says in her interview that she's just ride or die, and she expects LeeAnne to know that. So it's like brewing that they're in the same place and all that.
Yeah.
And Kari shows up, and she says that there was champagne poured all over her dress. Now that was not a full glass. And that champagne was not going in the direction of Kari. So, I mean, her
She
complaining
said
twice
she was
about
picking
this.
glass out of her hair too. I was like, "You're so dramatic."
So, again, I don't know what you're doing on the show.
Oh my
And I mean, like, what are you doing? Like, you're not, like, you've been making things up that aren't even, like, you're not even wet. Like,
Maybe
you don't have
her
anything
story's
on
still
you.
coming.
Yeah, maybe. I hope.
I feel like
Episode 8.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Season
I don't just like
finale.
her.
The finale.
I really don't like. I'm not like hating on the woman, but I'm just kind of like, all right, like I don't know, like I want to see her get more involved. She's still that like wild card that we talked about season like day one. You know what I mean? Like it's like you got Brandi and Stephanie and LeeAnne and Tiffany, and then this one in the middle. So I'm like, all right, I just want to see. Like,
I think more's coming with her. I do.
Yeah, going back to Tiffany, I just feel like with her, she says she's her ride or die and all this, but when it comes down to it, I feel like is LeeAnne giving her that chance to be who she is and wanting to be friends with these women? That's like the hard part about having like a real best friend like that. Like, I don't know, I feel like LeeAnne, it's a little cliquey. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think it's you're dealing with a very dominant personality with LeeAnne, and I don't necessarily know that Tiffany is as dominant until she's probably pushed. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what we saw.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes with the dominant personality, you have the follower, and I kind of feel like maybe that's what Tiffany is.
I feel like she doesn't want to be. She's really
and she's trying to break out of that.
She's trying to break out.
Yeah, she's definitely trying to break out.
She's all trying to have coffee and do all yoga with everybody else. She's trying to make her rounds.
Maybe it would have been a different story if LeeAnne had moved to LA. With
on her turf.
Yeah, but Tiffany moved back into LeeAnne's turf, so it's kind of like,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Tiffany goes on to say that when she was in LA, she didn't talk with LeeAnne for 2 years because LeeAnne felt abandoned by this. So they've had so many on again and off again moments.
Yeah.
That's tough. I mean,
can
you just be
okay.
supportive,
Yeah, and that especially like moving for your own life and then having your friend be so upset and feeling abandoned by it. That's not a mutual friendship in favor of Tiffany. That's then LeeAnne being unfair, right? I mean,
I've had this happen in my own life, and I
Yeah?
have a friend who doesn't really have any interest in anything I do out here, so I know he won't be watching this. And we were really close, but as soon as I made my move, that was it. That
was it.
And like we stay in touch, but it's all about stuff from the old times. Never wants to hear about anything. Never interested in
sometimes you
anything.
just outgrow friendships.
Yeah. It
the hard
happens. People come in and out of your life. That's a good thing versus just having the same people doing the same things.
Exactly.
Right.
So who
and
knows?
I feel like that's a sign of a good friendship too. Like the ability to be flexible and you love that person, but
Yeah.
if they have to move or do something for their life, you don't be mad at them. So the fact that a friend would treat someone else like that, that's weird.
It's like they have 25 years of friendship, but it seems like they've had some really tough.
Yeah, like it's very tumultuous.
Yeah.
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 So Tiffany leaves a voicemail for LeeAnne, and you could tell she was really broken up about it. Like, I do kind of believe that she was like really trying to talk about it, and she said, I appreciate we had to be professional at the charity event. And I'm like, why? No one was there to see it if you were. But I just love this charity event. Like, I think that might be my favorite part of the show. That might be my favorite part. I'm giving that a cheers. And I'm giving a quick cheers to all the music that they use in the show because it's very distracting because it's like they're plucking from like New Jersey, Orange County, Beverly Hills.
Sounds like an OC.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's very distracting because I'm picturing like the other women. I'm picturing like the Vicky, Tamra like face off, and then it's like these two women in Dallas. It's odd. Do you get that? Do you pick up on that?
Yes,
I
I
do think
do.
about that at times. It's funny that you said it. It's subconscious, but I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little distracting. So they're gonna go do lunch. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get to that in a moment. But Brandi's reunion, John and Carol come over, and I want to know where her mother was. Did you catch that the mother wasn't there?
I think she was. Wasn't she
didn't
both
see her.
times?
I looked.
I felt like she was.
I think she was.
I looked. I didn't see her there at all. There
Someone
was no interaction anyway.
asked for a utensil and she was like, "Go to that drawer over there."
That was for the barbecue.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was the second meeting with the
I don't know. I took out actually.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was the barbecue. I'm pretty sure.
I did. It was.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The past. They talk about the past and
Yeah. Well,
Brandi-
I feel like that was also really sad to see Brian behave the way that he did.
Yeah.
We're
Because
not that far in yet. We're not at
Oh.
the barbecue just yet.
Oh, okay.
Brian,
See,
Brian was
these-
traveling at
But
this
see,
time.
those scenes
We'll come
confused
back.
me because
Yeah.
they were all kind of like around the same
it
topic.
could have been
Were
one
in the same
scene.
room. Yeah, it could have been the same
They could have
kitchen.
condensed all that down to me because we talked about this last week too.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yes.
like, I get it.
You're like, what's what?
I
Yeah.
know he wasn't there. Let's just get to the meeting and get past
Yeah.
it.
I kind of like that, Brandi is telling her story because that's part of like the housewife formula.
Yeah.
This is giving me like Nene Leakes vibe. Remember when she was trying to connect with her dad down on Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's great. I think the other women, like, I want to see more personal stuff from the other women too.
Yeah, it's better than just hearing everyone talk. Well, we this fight, and then we went to lunch, and then let's talk about what we said at the lunch. Like, it's just so repetitive that this like makes them three-dimensional people.
I like it.
I miss Stephanie's family in Coetta.
You like
They were
them?
wonderful.
They were.
They were so.
Yeah.
The food looked good. Everything looked good.
Everything looked good. The whole experience.
So the big sit down between LeeAnne and Tiffany is happening, and Tiffany is very nervous, and her husband kind of talks her down, but I think her husband was kind of turned on by her being a little fired up. Did you catch that? He kind of like gave her like the once over before she went out. Like,
Oh,
I gotta say, she looked amazing to be going to have this conversation at the
look good.
cafe.
She did look good.
She looked awesome.
Real good.
Yeah. So LeeAnne says that she's one big emotion. I don't know what that means, but all right. And she immediately comes in and apologizes. A rarity on the Real Housewives.
I thought it was so sweet.
I did enjoy this scene.
Yeah.
Because I like seeing, friends that fight and make up. Because that happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Kisses right away.
Like, so sweet. I thought it was really sweet. I liked seeing that side of LeeAnne.
And Tiffany apologizes as well, as opposed to just taking the apology like so many of these housewives do. And she like owns up to her side either about getting so angry, and that they both agree that they were both hurt. And Tiffany goes into this whole thing about like in her apology, she talks about how she gives grace to all these people. It was kind of like, wait, are you blaming like them for you getting upset, or are you owning your actions? What are you apologizing for?
This show has had the most interesting like phrases that I've not heard before. Like bow at me, giving people grace.
There's new
Like
terms.
what? Dallas has got some interesting lingo.
I would love to bow at someone. I just want to try it.
I don't know why. I feel like you boy people all the time. I do. In my head, I do. I see it.
Out of all of us, you know just what that means.
Yeah.
We need to get you a t-shirt.
I feel like you do.
I love that.
Richie.
Love that.
Yes.
I'm gonna put that one on Instagram. LeeAnne, she didn't want to cry, and then she didn't want to cry at the event, so she used that energy to just yell at her friend apparently, and she says like, "That's when the Carney came out." And she like went like this. She's like the Gaga like quote. I was like, ooh. I don't know.
Weather Monster came out.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay.
Oh my goodness.
So here's to seeing more of that claw. I'm interested.
I told you guys, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Team LeeAnne
She's
all
bringing
day.
it.
I'm here for Carney Goes Wild. That's what I want to see.
Carney goes wild. Yes. So true.
The spin-off.
Yeah, that should have been the name of this episode.
So all's well that ends well at that lunch. But now we're gonna go to this barbecue. These people are still eating at this house. And Brandi is just elated to have
Brandi
her.
was eating that plate for a long time.
You know why? It was like anger chewing. She was like,
Yeah. Yup, she needs something to do.
uh-huh.
They're all eating off of paper plates. That's another thing I don't see on the Real Housewives. I don't even eat over paper plates.
It's a barbecue.
I know, but
What are you gonna give your nice china, your nice dishware?
Let's take a flashback to the barbecue in Beverly Hills.
Oh no.
You got a point there.
Yeah. I know this isn't Beverly Hills, and people are gonna be like, "That's not Kyle. If you got Beverly Hills, watch Beverly Hills." But look, there's a certain standard to these shows. Andy Cohen said himself, "It's the sociology of the rich."
Exactly.
So let's be real. But anyway, they ate their food at the barbecue. Brandi was elated to have her husband meet her grandfather, which is like, all right. I mean,
I get it. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's
Yeah.
very
Her
huge.
expectations were a little too high.
Yeah, she planned the whole event around his travel schedule. And Stephanie calls her husband Travis, and they're out having a drink after meeting up on the golf course. And Brandi
That was
gets
shady.
First off,
odd.
did Stephanie relay this out loud
Yeah.
in front of everyone?
Yes.
Because I kept thinking,
Not good.
and the camera pans around, and everyone's
Everyone's
just
like-
looking. And I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing for you.
Yeah.
She
Such
found
a
that in though to
disappointment.
say that.
Yeah.
It was bad too, because didn't she say that day Brian was traveling home?
Yeah. She doesn't know where her husband
Then he
is.
ends up
No.
at a golf course at a
Yeah.
bar.
And then Stephanie was like, "Oh, I think he was at some meeting or something." It's like, what meeting?
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Stephanie, pull her aside. Pull her
Yeah.
aside.
Yeah.
It's not a good look that she didn't know where her husband was at all.
And her poor little face was like,
no.
I mean, when he walked in
where?
the door, he didn't even acknowledge her.
no.
At all.
At all.
And then she asked him a question and he just basically
walked
ignored
away.
her.
Yeah.
I would have snapped.
It's so hard
Right
to
then
watch on
and
TV.
there.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I completely would have too.
Disrespectful.
I know you
Awful.
heard me.
And like, and like,
I mean, he's drunk.
her long lost family is there, and he's drunk.
I know.
Hell no.
Yeah. So she says that he puts up a wall and that she's disappointed. She kind of called him a douchebag, right?
Oh, she did.
And then she says, "Speak on
Rightly
the couch."
so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was mean. That was
He was.
really mean.
He was awful to her.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
if you're gonna be on camera. I get it. Like this is
Right?
the first season. There's a bunch of cameras following you around, but just get it together just for the
That-
time that the cameras are
He
on.
went
Yes.
Kelsey Grandma on her today.
Oh, that is something I do not get about the husbands on this show. Like, even if it's the last thing you want in your life, you're really gonna behave like that on national television, and everyone sees you and thinks you're an
what I was
asshole.
saying.
And my thing is just
know?
doing this for your wife. Like, just if you can't muster the courage to be on camera or do whatever you need to do, just
Yeah.
play nice for
Yeah,
her.
just be civil for
Right.
God's sakes,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
on the camera,
He's just really being real.
and it ain't good.
No.
Ugh,
Yeah.
Poor Brandy. I really felt bad for her then.
And then
Yeah.
she said he was going to sleep on the couch. I was like, no, he's not.
Yeah.
I don't feel like she has any power in that relationship.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I just don't see that.
I'm anxious to read her blog and see what I know she's going to address it, but she'll probably just whitewash it and just say, well, he was traveling and he was tired and he forgot to tell me that he was going out for drinks, so it's all good. I mean, I hope not. I hope she really hopefully they can use this as a turning point. But
Well,
I
in the
don't
next episode, they see the preview of them interacting, and he walks out the
Looks
table.
painful.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We'll have to see. I know it certainly doesn't look good for them, but
I don't
there's a
like
lot
him
to play out.
Yeah.
at all. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like him at all. Not one
No,
bit.
and we got a little bit of a redeeming moment with Travis today.
Yes, we like
So-
Travis tonight.
Yes, we like him tonight. So like, hopefully at some point Brian comes around. Maybe he does have a no.
Throw in a bracelet or a dress, something. Give Brandy like a gift.
Behave
Well, it
right.
was
Do
sad
something.
when she talked about shit for her birthday. She got 30 of
French
her
fries.
favorite things. Like,
Oh,
it's
I
just,
would have been angry.
yeah. Like,
She said
You give me some
dressing.
ketchup.
Yeah.
yeah, Italian dressing. I mean, that's it.
Ridiculous.
Not the meal to go along with the dressing.
I know. Just the
Just the dressing
condiments.
for you.
Okay, like what?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a guy thing. The
worst.
Yeah.
Well,
she
and-
deserves more.
She does, and they've been together since high school, though, too. And that's sort of a rarity in itself to have a relationship that long. And I wonder if part of it is sort of a natural progression that to have been together that long. I mean, we've said before, like things change. You get older, kids change your life, marriage changes your life. So maybe they're just at like the weirdest part where they're just not connecting anymore, and we're seeing that.
And it just so happens to be the time that they're filming. Which
Brian.
could be.
Brian.
Maybe he'll watch
I
it back
agree.
and change.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
You want the best for everyone.
Exactly. I mean, their kids are so young.
Yeah.
So that's all we can say on that. But let's take a look at some news and gossip. What's in the headlines?
It's a lot here.
Yeah.
Well, in an E! News interview, Tiffany says that Brandi is the most two-faced, saying you don't know which version you're going to get. She seemed fair about it and not mean-spirited, even going on to say that she thinks that Brandi is hilarious and should be on, SNL?
SNL.
That's a stretch. She is still a
She's funny, she's
card-carrying fan of Kari's. Okay. She says she's the most punctual, the smartest, and raved about her fashions, her husband's, on the show. So, interesting.
He's
like
very
that.
integral with the choosing of the fashion.
Well, Kari reached out to Kyle of Beverly Hills, your favorite, and Kyle told her to
really.
stay in her lane.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I
Kyle
guess.
said that?
No, that was like advice, like yeah, just like make sure you're your own person, stay in your own lane. Like it wasn't like
I'm
stay
kind of
over
seeing
there.
that, like how she is with Lisa Vanderpump, like just how Kyle is trying to
I love
differentiate.
Kyle, but that
Yeah.
was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love her.
Ramona and Dorinda had dinner with Tiffany and Leanne, And Tiffany's friends with Camille
interesting.
Grammer, which I didn't know.
She's my favorite, yeah.
Who, Camille?
Camille. Oh, yeah.
So pernicious.
Nice.
Very good. Very good.
Kelsey and Camille booked her show on the past, and Grammer told Tiffany not to make the show of her life. Don't live for the cameras.
Ooh, this is very interesting.
Yeah, it's fun to get different advice from the
Yeah, and
OGs.
finding out that they're like so interconnected and friendly and
Could you
hanging out.
Could you imagine that dinner though with Ramona and Dorinda?
What are you doing
And
without
I would've-
Dorinda?
I know.
that must have been an interesting.
Oh, what a
Hopefully the
scene.
waiter got a good tip that night. I hope.
I don't. Maybe the entertainment would have been enough. Maybe you could have done it tip free. I don't know. That would have been a show.
Yeah.
So regarding tonight's fight with Tiffany and Leanne, Tiffany had a lot to say about it. She felt like she was in the moment during the fight and that it really backfired. She thinks it backfired, quote, like a big freaking nuclear bomb in my face. That's what she said. She goes on to say all of the things that she had been burying and just been shoving down and keeping quiet to protect Leanne. It just erupted like a volcano. And that's how she feels about it. It looked like that for sure.
I like Tiffany now.
I do like her. I think she's very good intentioned.
Yeah, and I was curious about her background. She's Japanese and Native American.
Yes, we found out for
Wax
sure.
on, wax off.
Very exotic.
Very
Mr.
exotic.
Miyagi reference.
She has the best cheekbones too. They're like so up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We're here for Tiffany.
Yes.
We like her.
I want to
yes.
see what happens to her this season.
Yeah.
I need her to go and watch what happens live because I feel like she has a lot to say now.
I did too.
Yeah.
I would
That'd
have
be
liked
good.
for her to have been on there tonight, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy.
Yeah, they didn't book her tonight. They didn't book anybody on the show
No,
tonight.
they didn't.
Andy.
Andy.
Well, speaking of what happens live, LeeAnne, you might have caught her on there last week.
Looked amazing.
Yes.
So good. Like
And-
so good. I'm sorry.
Like,
so good.
yeah, like
Like whoa, good. I agree.
She talks about her relationship with Rich, and she said, "My boyfriend and I have been together for 7 years. We live together. We own a home together. We've been living in the same house together for over 2 years. I know he has a ring. I know he already has a ring. You know, I clean my house myself. So ... So I guess she's like seen it." Just like, okay, not gonna much of a surprise.
Okay.
Well, she adds that he's very romantic and that he's just waiting for the right time to surprise her. So.
oh, the housewife that longs for marriage.
Yes.
I know.
Yep.
She's throwing it out there.
And then Andy always trying to be shady, just trying to be though. You know what I mean? It's like he's always trying to be like make comments. He said, "Well, it's been 8 years, so what are you thinking?" You know, like he made it sound
And
like
who cares?
she's not gonna get it.
Like who cares? Even if she never gets married. Like people don't need to get married. It's fine.
I know it's
fine.
kind of true. Yeah.
I think it's the whole idea of having a ring and just going through the whole process, I guess.
I mean, how many times he's been married? What, 3 times prior to her?
He has?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't do it, girl. Just stay where you're at.
I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah.
I thought I just knew the once because he has the daughter from a previous, but it was 3?
I know it's more than one.
Oh.
No,
I mean,
if it's-
at least
if-
I think so. Allegedly, maybe I think so. I'm almost.
I like
it's-
seeing their relationship. They look like they have a good one. A fun.
Yeah, but she's got what she wants.
pressure.
She's in a
Yeah.
long-term relationship. She owns a house with the guy. She's committed. She's not. There's no signs of abandonment. Like she's in a good place.
Right.
So.
If it's working, don't quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Just go with it. Go with the flow.
And then last week we were talking about that little Taylor who was running around, and Bravo put out a whole article about who he is and where he's from.
Because we're that
Yes.
interested.
Yeah, I know.
He was
Familiar?
he was like a
Did he look
whirlwind.
familiar to you?
Yeah.
He was just
And so
I had never seen him before. So,
Really?
Yeah.
no.
Well,
I-
at Pete
I
Philip
had never seen him either.
James, Philip James on Twitter tweeted me. He's at P2 Vezo. He's sorry if I screwed that up. He told me that Taylor is from the A-list Dallas
I remember that.
because we were trying to figure out where he's from. So he's definitely a Dallas boy. And his behavior was
he was
deplorable.
an interesting one. Yeah.
I literally, when I was watching the episode last week, I was like, I've seen this guy on TV before. Where have I seen him? So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Yeah, I was curious because his behavior was like, whatever.
I know. It was
So,
like weird.
yes.
The whole thing was weird.
You know something tonight on tonight's episode we didn't see. Upcoming in the preview is her LeeAnne talking to Stephanie. So that's gonna be interesting to
Oh
see.
God, when they ever meet
if they,
back up.
I know.
Yeah,
I
that
know
was
how that's
pretty
gonna go.
Oh,
ugly.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like waiting for that in the preview, and I guess that's gonna be later on. They
Well,
have to have talk.
We see how long it took LeeAnne to even get ready to talk to Tiffany, who's her best friend in life. So Stephanie, who she hates, probably never gonna happen.
The reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they're forced.
So, as a programming note, next week we should have America's sassiest lifestyle guru in the house, who's friends with all the ladies. I mean, on the phone. Who's friends with all the ladies on the Real Housewives of Dallas, and he wants to come on and talk about all of them. So we will give him a platform
That
in
should be
which to do
interesting.
so. Yeah,
Can't wait for that.
He I don't know if you watched like the after show on Trump is Live, but he was the one who like made like a belt buckle for Andy. It said RHOD.
Oh.
And Andy just kind of went like, oh, and like looked at it. I was like,
Oh,
really?
Andy.
Really? Like, come on. So,
I kind of live for Andy.
so we will give Steve.
He like doesn't care anymore.
He does
Yeah.
that. It's like, I'll see what I want.
Like, oh, okay.
Steve, we're going to give you a proper platform right here at AfterBuzz TV. As we talk about next week, let's take a look at and predict.
Ooh, yes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So based on the little teaser that we saw for next week's episode, I think next week might be the episode we see more about Kari. We're seeing the photo shoot
Yes.
that Mark likes to do for Kari or whatever's happening there, which is fine. Hey, it's,
Yeah.
whatever they
thing.
like.
Do
We're
your thing,
literally
girl.
seeing more of Kari.
Really, we
Yes.
really are. So, yeah, I think there's like more to that. I think there's gonna be more. She's gonna have her moment. It's gotta happen.
I'm telling you, it's going to be episode 8.
Oh, really?
You're feeling aid.
I'm
It's a cliffhanger.
I'm still very open for her to like see what she's got going on, but I'm
Yeah.
just unimpressed as of now, as of what we've been given. So I'm still open.
I'm always not with the housewife who acts above the drama, Yolanda. But I'm just not, because they don't engage. I don't like that. I like the housewife that engages. You know what I mean?
I mean, you're on the show. You're right
The
in the
point
middle
is
of
to
it.
engage.
Yeah, like you can't be above it.
Yeah.
I
Gotta
feel
be
like
at it.
one of the housewives hopefully steps in and helps Brandi out and figure out her marriage, because her doing it on her own,
It's not going well.
it's not going well. So hopefully maybe Stephanie will jump in, or they have to start talking about it, because it's more like we're seeing it, but nobody's talking about
Right.
it on the show. So maybe we'll see that.
Interesting.
I feel like I can't say it's a prediction, but it's a hope that we see them mix it up a little bit more, because I feel like we only see these things: LeeAnne, Tiffany, Stephanie, Brandi. That's it.
And then
In
Kari
terms
and
of
her
friendship.
husband.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, I need to
Yeah.
see
Yes.
like more
Yes.
interaction amongst them all. I
Yeah.
feel like that
Right.
will make the episodes, pop a little bit more
Yeah.
if they're all interacting together. Heck, bring in Marie. Come on, like I mean,
Yeah.
we got a whole
I
list
know.
of people that we
Yeah.
can play with here. You know.
You know what they need to do? They need to have an event that isn't charity related, where it's just the girls, like a girls' trip or a girls' dinner or something.
Oh, the girls'
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah, the girls' trip.
Yeah.
are always fun.
Hopefully they go
what
on
we
one.
need.
They're infamous.
They're supposed to. That's what I heard.
Well, they
but-
tried doing that with Marie's party, and look how it turned out with them.
Yeah.
We're not
Well,
saying
that'll
it'll
still
turn out
come- that'll
good,
still like a charity event, though.
but we want to
But
see
listen,
it.
I need
Yes,
to
we need
see
more
more,
of it,
of
yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
that's what makes it a Housewives
agree.
event to me.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. Marie looks like she's in deep next week when she's got Tiffany and Leanne saying, "Look, you're saying stuff that we don't like." So I am looking forward to that, because I feel like Marie's been like scared every time she's on screen.
Yeah.
So with this one, it's gonna be interesting.
It's like I'm being called out right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So-
I'm here for
Oh
it.
God! And then Taylor, was it Taylor? He didn't help things, going around saying, "Oh, Marie told me."
Oh,
I know.
Marie told me all this
was
stuff.
He planted the seed.
Yeah, he
He teams
did.
up with Stephanie, and they become close friends. Well,
Wouldn't
she said
be
that she wanted
something?
him to be her best
Yeah.
friend on the show.
Oh.
He needs to come on. We need like a best friend, a new best friend.
We
maybe.
do. Oh, that's good. Great, great idea.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, let's get that ball
Yes.
rolling.
We just need something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's this little extra spark that we need
Yeah,
to
just a
kinda,
little.
like light the
Yeah.
fire.
Yes.
I mean, I think this is like such a fun show to get into if you just like accept it for what it is.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
take
take
it
it.
seriously.
I'm having
Yeah.
fun.
You know, like I know other people who are like, "Oh, I can't. I watched the first episode, and I couldn't continue." But it's like just fall into it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just nonsense. It's not like like
It's fun. And it's
Emmy-winning
picking up.
Show.
It
It's
is.
Yeah,
picking
it
up a
definitely
lot.
is picking up. I'm so interested in seeing that was my prediction. I predict that Brian will not show up at the reunion. I don't think he's gonna do that.
The way things are
Oh,
going.
Because I
House
don't know why
husbands.
my mind automatically went to, will he actually show up at the reunion? Because I don't think he will.
There's gonna be too many questions
and
from him.
he behaved so badly. Ooh,
And next
I'd
week
be-
looks even worse.
I'd be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Well, let us know your thoughts and opinions. You can leave comments beneath this episode. You can rate us on iTunes and give us a thumbs up. Just go ahead and do that for us. And you can support us in our ventures by following us. Richie, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Richie Skye and on All Digital Radio on my new radio show, Richie on the Rocks.
Yay!
Nice.
You guys can follow me at Thomas Orlina on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook.
And I am Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
And you guys can find me over on Twitter at Grants__Rants. And I just put out a double podcast today, so make sure you check it out of Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. We're back in full force, so check that out. It's a quick Google search and you'll find the whole thing. That'll do it for us for the Real Housewives of Dallas. Check us out next week.
See ya.
See you guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.